You've seen the reports, and the province of Gauteng is facing a rise in deadly mass shootings linked to illegal taverns. The latest attack in Bekkersdal left 10 people dead after gunmen opened fire inside. The Gauteng government says it plans to step up action against these illegal taverns, remove illegal guns and support ongoing police investigations. Joining me is the acting Premier of Gauteng, Mamabolo, to talk about the plan to stop the violence. Good morning and thank you for being with us. Really do appreciate it. I know this is holiday time, but everyone's still at work, all hands on deck still. I know you want to start off, Jacob, this morning with condolences to the Hlongwa family. You're more than welcome to go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning to you, to all the viewers. And let me thank you for inviting us. And let me, on behalf of our Premier, Honorable Panyaza Lesufi, and the entire Gauteng provincial government, take this opportunity to convey our sincere condolences to the family of Comrade Brian Hlongwa, but also say, may his soul rest in eternal peace. And just to, on the point you are making, I also just to say, want to say to the viewers that yesterday, together with the law enforcement agencies in our province, we visited Bekkersdal. We met with the families of the deceased, and we conveyed our condolences to them, support to those who are still in hospital, wishing them speedy recovery. We visited the tavern itself with the Deputy Provincial Commissioner who's acting as the Gauteng Provincial Commissioner. And I think that was the very first direct, decisive step in that the police came to the conclusion that the tavern was non-compliant, and they acted swiftly and promptly, thus reaffirming and confirming our unwavering commitment to make sure that only the rule of law applies in all respects.
Jacob, thanks. And just for our viewers who don't know, that was Brian Hlongwa, who is the former Gauteng Health MEC.
Yeah.
The question around Bekkersdal, though, raises a number of other issues. I mean, that establishment had been operating for a while. It took a tragedy to reveal that those operations were operating illegally. Why?
Yeah, I think it could have been identified very early, just when I was listening to the Major General Kekana explaining to the media and to the people of the province. I got a sense, and hoping that I understood him well, is that they looked at the permit just, of course, after the incident happened, and he says, on the face of it, it looked legitimate, but with further, deeper investigations, thorough checks, working with the Gauteng Liquor Board, they then came to the conclusion that it was fraudulent. So I think there cannot be a justification for why it wasn't done earlier, but I think what is encouraging, and where we commend our law enforcement agencies, the Gauteng Liquor Board, is that they've demonstrated that they will apply the law without fear or favor or prejudice, and have actually communicated, and we support them, that we should go all around to make sure that nobody runs any outlet, any business or any activity outside the applicable laws. Everybody should comply, and we commend the police for that.
It sounded to me in what Kekana was saying, it was a call to the Gauteng Liquor Board. It was as easy as that to verify whether the documents that had been presented by way of a license were fraudulent. So it doesn't appear to be as complicated as it might be, and therefore I'm saying, within this context of a promise to shut down illegal taverns, the enforcement work can be done quickly, efficiently, way ahead of time. And of course, we're only dealing with one part of the problem. I mean, the illegal guns and all of the rest is still an important issue, and we'll get there in just a moment. But these establishments operating, not even under cover of night, they're operating in broad daylight. and nobody is enforcing the law, essentially gives a lie to the promise of enforcement and shutting them down, Premier.
Yeah, as I said, I think you have got a point. It could be done in the most efficient, effective way prior to that all the time. But I think what is clear to me is the work of our law enforcement agencies across the province to enforce bylaws and the laws of the Republic remain very important to us. And to that extent, I would like to make a call to everybody that, whether it's people operating taverns, liquor outlets, every business, to please comply with the laws of this country, and also to call on our law enforcement to make sure exactly the point that we're making, that these things are done proactively, efficiently, and effectively. And that is why we are hard at work with our law enforcement agencies to make sure that that happens.
All right, so then against that backdrop, if you make the commitment to communities who are in the process of grieving, that illegal taverns are going to be shut down, what is the plan? I mean, what does that look like? What gives life to a commitment? Because it's not only a promise, it's a commitment that these establishments won't exist. So what does that look like?
I think at best we should, and I'd like to say, the matter is best left to our law enforcement agencies, because this is about investigations, checking, verifying. And our law enforcement agencies, as we speak, they are hard at work in different areas, precisely enforcing the law. So for me, and I'd like to plead that, the matter be left in the good hands of the police, so that the law, as you know, it applies and it's applied consistently. So the police are hard at work, I can assure you that, and to the residents and to the families, to everybody, that our men and women in uniform are on the ground, are hard at work, they are verifying, and this is ongoing. It's not like we're starting. So to that extent, I'd like everybody to be rest assured that the work is being intensified. Obviously, we can improve. We can optimize our levels of efficiency and effectiveness. So that remains a matter that the police assist with, and I'd like us to leave it in their good hands. They are the most relevant, applicable authorities to deal with the issue, so that the law can be applied consistently. Yeah, I mean, so I'd really like to plead that let's have confidence in our law enforcement agencies. Let us maximize our levels of confidence that indeed they're hard at work, they're working. It doesn't mean there are no challenges. There are difficulties, but I can assure you the police are hard at work dealing with the matters. I
mean, I can appreciate the fact that you're wearing the Premier's hat for a few days. You're keeping the egg warm, essentially, and this is not, your core function. We know that you serve out another mandate in the province, but when promises are issued to communities in the context of horror and in the context of grief, it would seem remiss to make a commitment like that, which you cannot stick to. I mean, we've had another shooting in Salisbury, where it turned out to be an illegal establishment. We are writing checks, as they say on the street, we are writing checks with our mouths that we can't fulfill, because police are under-resourced. The communities who typically are blowing the whistle or who might be encouraged to speak out are worried about retaliation where they live, their homes being burned down or them being attacked. This is not a promise you can credibly make, Jacob, and that's why I'm doubling down on the point. As I say, communities are being asked to provide information. We've seen this happen now in Bekkersdal and in Salisbury. You've got this added complexity around illegal firearms in the system. And there are how many establishments do we have that are operating illegally? I don't think you'll be able to give us a number, because we simply don't know.
Yeah, let me emphasize the point that, in our province, we have done our best to integrate our various law enforcement agencies, including municipalities, we've unveiled an integrated way of working, coordination across, precisely because we recognize that, and I appreciate the point, that the matters that we assist with are quite complex, are quite difficult. That's why we appreciate it. No single sphere of government can deal with all these issues alone. Our municipalities need support. We're working with them, we're integrating with them. Our police alone, the principle of our law enforcement agencies partnering with, working with communities is very much important to enforce the principle of the rule of law. And we encourage communities to work with the police because of the nature of the complexity of the challenges we're facing. So across municipalities, national, province, we are working in a coordinated way precisely because of the issues you are raising, recognizing the complexity, and this model of fighting crime, of clamping down, of making sure that we elevate the rule of law. We started working with it, directed by the Premier, on the 15th of April this year. That's when we signed this groundbreaking MOU, precisely because none of us, local government, just the province, national government, can deal with these matters alone. So we are on record having said these are complex matters and we need integration, we need coordination, we need to work together. And we must commend our communities that even in the light of the issues you are raising, they have worked with our police to ensure the suspects. There's a suspect arrested in the Tshwane Sosville matter. The suspects on the killing of the DJ Warras, that would have been assisted by the communities right in Bekkersdal. The police were reporting the work they are doing.
Footage, and yes, perhaps there was a level of getting people to blow the whistle and say to police where these suspects were. I wish we had more time for this because in the Bekkersdal incident, there were eyewitness accounts of people who looked like they might be connected to illegal mining that were involved in this. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to get into it now. Those are the commitments you're making. Let's see and let's hope, Premier, that we don't have another tragedy that we report on, another families that are mourning over this Christmas period over the same issue. Appreciate your time today. Thank you very much for talking to us. And we are on Christmas Eve, so all the best for the festive season. A safe and a blessed one to you and to your family.
Thank you.
Jacob Mamabolo, who is acting as the Premier in Gauteng. We leave it there for the moment.